So in this video, we are going to learn how to schedule Google Meet from Google Form submission. Let's say you own a marketing agency and you have created a Google Form. So using this Google Form, the leads or the users who are interested in your company and want to approach you for marketing can book a 30 minutes of free consultation call with you. Now you want that whenever someone will enter their details and make the form submission in Google Forms, using that same detail, you want to schedule a meeting in Google Meet and according to the same date and time which the user has entered in Google Forms. So in this video, we are going to see how you can automate it. And using this automation, as you're going to receive a new response in Google Forms, automatically with the same details and on the same time which is entered in Google Form, we are going to schedule a meet in Google Meet. And the invitation of the meet will be sent to the same person as well. Now, if you want to learn how you can set up this automation all by yourself, for that, you just have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, this is a Google form which I have created for free marketing consultation booking. So whenever a client or a user is interested in my business and want a 30 minutes of free consultation, they just enter their details, select the date and time, preferred date and time, and add the details or some description about their queries or what they're expecting from us. And I want that whenever I receive a new form submission with the same details, a meeting should be scheduled in Google Meet for the same date and time which the user has selected over here, and that meeting invitation should be sent to the user as well, that too automatically. Now to automate this process, we have to connect Google Forms with Google Meet. And we are going to use an automation and integration platform called Pabbly Connect to do so. Now to access Pabbly Connect, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can just create your free Pabbly account in 2 minutes. After creating the account and coming to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. I'll name it as Google Forms to Google Meet. You can basically give any other name of your choice. Then just select the folder of the Pabbly Connect account in which you want to set up this automation and click on Create. Now as you click on Create here, you can see the automation workflow will open in front of us. And in this workflow, you can see two different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those two concepts, those two principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's start with the trigger window. Now the idea here is, first we have to connect the form which we have created using Google Forms with Pabbly Connect in the trigger step. So that whenever we are going to receive a new form submission, a new response in this form, the same details are received inside Pabbly Connect as well, and this automation workflow will trigger. After that, using this Pabbly Connect automation, we are going to send the same details to Google Meet and schedule a meet with the same user on our Google Meet account as well. So let's see how it is done. Starting from a trigger window in Choose App, search for Google Forms. Just select it. After selecting Google Forms in Trigger Event from the drop-down, select the trigger event as New Response Received. And as we select this trigger event, Pabbly Connect has given us a webhook URL. Now using this webhook URL, we are going to connect our Google Form with Pabbly Connect and capture the form responses. And to add this webhook URL, we just have to follow the instructions given below over here. First of all, we just have to copy this webhook URL from here and go to the form which we have created using Google Forms. Now, instead of sending the responses directly from Google Forms, we will be sending the responses from the Google Sheet. So we all know that Google Form responses are stored in a Google Sheet. So from that Google Sheet, we will be sending all the form responses. To access the Google Sheets, just go to this Responses tab and click on this Link to Sheets button. Select Create a New Spreadsheet and click on Create. Now as we click on Create here, you can see in the new tab, this Google spreadsheet will open in front of us. And in this spreadsheet, all the form responses of this Google form will be stored. And from this spreadsheet, we will be sending the form responses to Pabbly Connect. So we are going to add the webhook URL in this Google Sheet. For that, we just have to go to Extensions, Add-ons and click on Get Add-ons. After clicking on Get Add-ons, we will reach to Google Workspace Marketplace. And here in Search app, we have to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks. And as you can see, Pabbly Connect Webhooks, this add-on is already installed in my Google Sheets. You just have to install this same add-on into your own Google Sheets account, and after installing it, just refresh your Google Sheets once. This is a very important step. After refreshing our Google Sheets, once again we'll go to extensions, and here you can see Pabbly Connect Webhooks. This add-on can be seen over here. Just hover on it and click on Initial Setup. After clicking on Initial Setup, this box will appear in front of us, and it is basically asking us three different things. First one is the selected sheet. Now because in this Google Sheet, we will be having only one sheet named as Form Response 1. So here by default, it has selected the same sheet. Then it is asking us for the webhook URL. And as you can guess, here in the field of webhook URL, we have to enter the exact same webhook URL which Pabbly Connect gave us. Just copy it from here and then paste it over here. Then it is asking us for the trigger column. Now you must be thinking, what is this trigger column? So the trigger column is basically the last data entry column of our Google Sheet in which our data do exist. So in the background, as you can see, column F is the last column in which our data exists. After column F, in any of the column, none of our data does not exist. So I'm going to enter the column F as our trigger column. After entering the trigger column, just click on Submit. And as we click on Submit, here you can see it is going to show us that the setup is configured successfully. Close this window. Once again, we'll go to Extensions, Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and this time we have to select this option of Send on Event. By selecting Send on Event, we are telling this Google Sheet, we are telling this add-on that whenever a new row of data is added in this Google Sheet, whenever we are going to receive a new form submission in Google Forms, immediately send the data of that complete row, that complete form response to Pabbly Connect using the webhook URL. Now here in our Pabbly Connect workflow, you can see it is showing us waiting for webhook response. This means Pabbly Connect is waiting to capture a response of a form submission or receive a response of a form submission from Google Forms. So what we are going to do, we are going to make a test form submission. I'll just open this form in a new tab and I'm going to enter the details of a dummy user. So name of the person is demo user. This is the email address. And this is a dummy mobile number as well. Now here in the meeting time, I'm going to select the date as, for example, 11th of October 2024, and the time is, for example, 0300 p.m. So in the afternoon for 3 p.m., I'm scheduling this booking over here. Then after that, it is asking us some additional details. So let me add some dummy details as, for example, we are setting up this automation. You can basically enter any option, any details over here and create any other field as well. So you can just completely customize this form as per your requirement. Just make sure that you get some basic details like the name of the person, the email address, and the preferred date and time. After entering the dummy details, let's click on Submit. And as we click on Submit, here you can see this form submission is done. So just now on our Google form, we have received a form submission, as you can see over here. And as we receive this form submission, you will see that in our Pabbly Connect workflow, in this trigger step, within seconds, we have received the response. And in this response, you can see the details of the same form submission. We have the timestamp that at what date and time this form submission was received. We'll scroll down further, and here you can see we have the sheet name over here. Then after that, we have the details of the form submission. We have the name of the person, we have the email address, phone number, the selected date and time over here, that is 11th of October 2024, and the time is 3 p.m. Also, we have the same additional detail message as well. This means the step 1 of setting up this automation is completed, where we have successfully connected our Google form with Pabbly Connect and captured the form response. Now after this, let's move to step 2. And in step 2, we want to send the same details to Google Meet and schedule a meet over there for this particular date and time. For that, we will just scroll down and come to this action step. And here in Choose App, we will search for Google Meet. Just select it. After selecting Google Meet, in Action Event from the drop-down, select the action event as Schedule a Meeting. Then just click on Connect and select Add New Connection. Now here, we have to connect our Google Meet account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, click on this Sign In with Google button. Then after that, just select your Google Meet account in which you want to schedule the meet. Scroll down and click on Continue. And as we click on Continue, we will see our Google Meet account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is the calendar. So in the drop-down, you can see a list of all the calendars which we have in our Google Meet account or Google Calendar account. So in this particular calendar which we are going to select over here, the meet will be scheduled. Then it is asking us for the summary, that what will be the summary or the name of this meeting or the event which is going to be created. So let's say I want to name it as, for example, consultation meeting with, and then I want to mention the name of the person who has scheduled the meet with us. So here what we have to do, we have received the details of the form submission like the name, email and all the details from Google Forms in our Pabbly Connect workflows trigger step. So here from this trigger step responses, we have to one by one send these details, send these responses to this Google Meet action step. And to add the responses from a previous step to this action step, we are going to use a process called mapping. We will just click on this field, and here in this drop down, you can see a list of all the responses which we have received from Google Forms of a new form submission. Out of all of these responses, let's select the response of name and map it. In this way, whenever a new meeting will be created, the name of the meeting will be consultation meeting with, and we will be having the name of the person who made the form submission or who has basically scheduled a meet with us. Then it is asking us for the description. So whatever summary or the description the user is going to enter while making the form submission, the same detail, the same additional detail response will be added in the description of the meeting. After description, it is asking us for the start date and time and end date and time of the meeting. So basically, we have created a meeting of 30 minutes. It is going to be a 30-minute session. So what we have to do, we have received the start date. We have received the preferred date and time of the user via form submission. We just have to add 30 minutes into that particular start date and we'll get the end date and time as well. But as mentioned in the help text below, we have to enter the start date and the end date of the meeting according to UTC time zone and in this particular date and time format. But the responses which we have received from Google Form is according to our local time zone. Like we are in India, and in India, we follow Asia Kolkata time zone. This means we have this date and time according to the Asia Kolkata time zone, and the format of the date and time is also different. We have this date and time in the format of month, day, year, hours, minutes, and second. But Google Meet is asking us the date and time for start date and end date in this particular format of year, month, date, then we have the T, and then we have the time. Now what we have to do, we are going to use a feature, a module of Pabbly Connect called DateTime Formatter. And using DateTime Formatter, we are going to change the format and the time zone of the preferred date and time which we have received from Google Forms. To use DateTime Formatter, just click on this Add Action Step button and then here in Choose App, search for DateTime Formatter. In Action Event from the drop-down, select the action event as Format Date with Time Zone and then just click on Connect. After clicking on Connect, it is asking us for the date. Now here we have to enter the date whose format and time zone we want to change. Just click on this field and from the drop-down from Google Form Responses, select the response of the preferred date and time. Then it is asking us from format, that in which format this date and time is present right now. In this dropdown, you can see a list of different formats, but out of all of them, this is the format of month, day, year, hours, minutes, and seconds. In this format, this date and time is present right now. So we are going to select it. Then it is asking us two formats. So from the dropdown, we have to select the format in which Google Meet is asking us the date and time. So we have selected this format. The Google Meets wants the date and time in this particular format. Then it is asking us time zone from time zone. So currently we have received the response according to Asia Kolkata time zone, my local time zone. So I'm selecting Asia Kolkata as the from time zone. If you are in some other country or follow some other time zone, you have to basically enter the time zone in which you are getting the response from the user. And here in two time zone, we have to select UTC over here. After selecting all the options, just click on Save and Send Test Request. And as you click on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see we have basically converted this same date and time from this over here into this particular format and according to UTC time zone. So we have year, month, date, then you have hours, minutes, and seconds after T over here. And you can see the time over here was 3 p.m. But here you can see in this formatted date and time zone, because this date and time is according to UTC time zone, the time over here is 9:30. So this is a correct time because the Indian time is 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of the UTC time zone. That's why when it's 3 p.m. according to Indian time zone, it's 9:30 a.m. according to UTC time zone. So we have successfully converted this start date and time. Now let's map this start date and time over here in the Google Meets action step. Just click here, and from the drop down here you can see we have this response of date time formatter. Select it and map it. Then we also have to enter the end date and time. And the meeting is going to end 30 minutes after it started. So what we are going to do, we are just going to add 30 minutes to this particular date and time which we have received from date time formatter. And for that, let's click on this add action step button once more time. And then once again, we are going to use the same function date time formatter. By this time, the action event will be add or subtract time. Just select this action event of date time formatter and click on connect. Then it is asking us to enter the date, that what is the date in which we want to add or subtract the time. Just click here. From the drop down, select the response of the date time formatter whose format and time zone we have just now changed. In expression, enter the duration of your meeting over here. So I'll be just entering plus 30 minutes. In to format, we are going to select this particular format over here in which we want the response to be. And in from format as well, we are going to select the same format because we haven't changed the format over here. We have changed the format of the date and time in the previous step. And click on save and send test request. Now, as you click on save and send test request, here you can see whatever time the user is going to schedule the meeting, we have received the time 30 minutes after that. And 30 minutes after that meeting, the meeting will end. So we'll just map the same response over here in end date and time as well. After basically changing the format and time zone and adding 30 minutes to the scheduled meeting start time, what we have to do at last, we have to enter this attendee email. So we will just click on this field, and from Google Form responses, we are going to map the response of the email of the person who has scheduled the meeting with us. Then it is asking us for the request ID, but the field of request ID is not mandatory, is not required. So if you want, you can just ignore this field for now. And after mapping all the details, after entering all the details over here, just click on save and send test request. Now when we click on save and send test request, here you can see we have received the response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the meeting whose details we have entered over here, basically the same meeting for which we just made a form submission, is scheduled in our Google Meet account as well. And as this meeting is scheduled, automatically an email will be sent to the same person, to the attendee's email, that the meeting is sent. An invitation over email will be sent. So we'll just open the email inbox of this account over here. I have already opened it. We'll just refresh it once. And yes, here you can see an invitation is sent on the same email address over here which we have entered while making the form submission. And this invitation is for an event named as consultation meeting with demo user. We have the name of the person who has scheduled the meeting with us. The meeting is on 11th of October 2024 and the time is from 3 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. So we have the 30-minute meeting and it starts at 3 p.m. the same time which we have entered while making the form submission. We have the join link and all the other details as well. This means the automation workflow which we have created between Google Forms and Google Meet using Pabbly Connect, this automation is working perfectly fine. And using this automation, now whenever we are going to receive a new form submission in Google Form, automatically for the same date and time, a meeting will be scheduled over here. Now after setting up this automation, we are going to test this automation workflow once. Once again, I'm going to enter the details of a new user. This time the name of the person is test user. This will be the email address of this person and this is a dummy mobile number. The date of the meeting is, for example, 20/10/2024, 20th of October. And the time is, let's say the time is 11 a.m. Then it is asking us for additional details. So we are testing this automation. This is the description I'm going to add. Let's click on submit. So just now what we have done, we made another form submission in Google Form. And as we make the form submission, we will see automatically, instantly within few seconds, a meeting is scheduled in our Google Meet account and the invitation of the meeting will be sent to the same person who made the form submission on their email. So let me just go back to the email inbox over here. And yes, here you can see another invitation is sent to the same person, same email who has scheduled the meet with us. We have the consultation meeting with test user. We have the name of the person. The date and time is the same, 20th of October 2024. And the time is 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. So we have entered the start time as 11 a.m. The 11:30 a.m. is the 30 minutes after that. So this will be the duration. And we are testing this automation. We have the same description as well. This means we have tested this automation in real time and it is working perfectly fine. So not just these applications, you can connect plenty of other applications with Pabbly Connect. And one more important thing, You will get a clone link of this exact same automation workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can just clone this exact same automation workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this automation for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So you can just try and test this automation for absolutely free.
So if this video was helpful to you, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with others, or if you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can always write us in the comment box below or email us at support@pabbly.com. Also, you can post your queries on our forum as well. And if you want to check the pricing of Pabbly Connect, you can visit this link. So this is it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.